Ooh, lordy, the biting flies are bad up here. This is the cofferdam for the Kersarge mine. Well, it's their mill building. Okay, so here was the head frame and bridge, and they'd back up this stream, and this is the reservoir that they would use in order for them to drive. Oh, sorry for the shakes. All of the equipment. So you can see the buried timbers down there? That stuff is only visible since big flooding and flash floods, really, that we had last spring. You can see the logs, the timbers of the dam right there. This was the actual head gate right here. So, I don't know, that's maybe both sides of the earthen dam, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. There's not a lot left here. But that would back up this full of water. One would only assume it's kind of filled in with silt. But it would have had maybe 15 feet. So, you know, a pond, 3-4 acres backed up. It's a fair bit of water that they would stock up. And then they would divert it down and out to the mill. And I'm going to see if I can work my way out there. So here we are below. Look at that wood deck right in there. I wonder what that's all about. But you can see where the logs actually were. These trees laid down sideways. There's some axe cuts on some of them. But these have been in the ground a long time. These here could be in the ground since the 1880s. And one would assume that the water came in somewhere along this level up there, because they don't want it to drop at height at all if they can help it. So we're certainly well below where they used to bring the water in, but it makes for a fairly nice place to walk. So and say this would be part of the mill building. So this is where the stuff would be stacked, and so the ditches, my guess, would have run up there, probably right where that black plastic pipe is, which is from a mining operation, I think in the 80s, that happened through here. The Kersarge shut down, I want to say in 1907, after a big fire, and then the place was salvaged. Oh, I'm going to see if I can work my way along this upper line, because I want to get to where their stamp mill was. It's kind of a brushy fortress, unfortunately. We're about 6,800 feet in elevation. Maybe not quite that high, 65, something like that. So there's a road deck here. I don't know if this is where the flume would have been built. There's no signs of it whatsoever, and this has all been pretty badly dug up. I want to say a lot of this was by maybe large-scale hobby mining of some time, cutting into this. Why they thought there'd be a lot of gold here, I'm kind of confused. I wouldn't have thought there'd been a whole lot of gold under the mill building, but I could have been wrong. We're not even officially under the mill building yet. Now we're getting into the mill building. Now we're in the mill building. Okay. So this is the dugout location for the old Kersarge mill. And I'm on a lower level than I wanted to be, because the stamps, their foundations are up there. But there's some pretty interesting features, so I'm going to have to explore this. So here I am. I'm standing on top of mortared and stacked wall. There's a few remnants down here, but not much. This mill was salvaged. It was 60 stamps. The Kersarge had 60 stamps in it by the end. In the beginning, I want to say they had 40. But then they bought out the Kennett mill, and they hauled all the stamps from the Kennett up here, and they ended up with 60. So I got this rock wall right through here. The whole place was also decimated by fire after it was salvaged, though I have a great big timber right next to me. And there's some tin and whatnot. Whoops. Down along here. So that's that other mining operation. There's that dozer. I believe I called it the D8 Stripper Cat. We did a video on that dozer years ago. So there's more tin right there. And parts of a dynamite crate right there. But what I wanted to see is one level up. So that's where I'm going to go. This is the stamp sets. They were between these big posts. The wells that they ran in are gone. But there was a bank of 10 between each. What the little triangle cutouts are, I'm not entirely sure. I would love to see what the mercury levels up here in the soil were like. I was tempted to bottle some and send it in to be tested. This one was bolted down. Tell them came from my backyard and see what they say. Yeah, so there's one's tipped over between each one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 banks of 10, just like I was told by my old timers. Stamps were set up here in banks of 10. This was the biggest mine, or the biggest mill in the valley. When it was running, you could hear it 6 miles away in Virginia City. A constant, distant roar of thunder. Let's see what's back there. Holy crap, the mosquitoes are like a attacking hornet's nest. We got some more stacked rock wall, conveyor belting. So I think we're standing on top of a power plant. There's the row continuing. Oh, no. Here's the power plant. Here it is. See the concrete pad? My gosh. So this is where the power plant was, without a doubt. How it ended up so buried in rock, I'm not entirely sure. But this is where the power plant stood. And we're running out of room over there. That would be Summit City, the vista of Summit City down behind you. Oldsmobile hubcap. That's a long ways from home. Let's see, they sort of punched the road through with little thought. Preservation. There's the side to a chute, or the side to a flume or something like that, laying right there. More conveyor belting. Look at all the brass rivets driven into it. Isn't that cool? Look at them things. Look at them things. Hand hammered, knocked over, brass rivets. Pretty cool. There's part of a flume right there. This, if my research is correct, this is the amalgamation level right down here. This is where the mercury pans were, right? Because it comes out, the road is kind of where the rock crusher level was, and then it comes out on the stamps right here where I am now. It's so covered in crap, it's hard to see it all. In a video, I'm sure you don't get the sense of it. But this is the stamp level right through here, and then after it had been pulverized in the stamps, go on down. We have a bumper crop of wild strawberries. Ooh, dead things, bones. So, yeah, not sure there's much else to show you. This bad boy right here is the Kersarge mine. No, it's not. It's the Kersarge mill. It's the Kersarge stamp mill. All that's left of it. Here's a survivor. Drill rod. That end down there fit in the drill, and then this end had a carbide cup. You see it's mushroomed over slightly. A carbide inset cutter cup, and a lot of times they had a ring of brass or a ring of lead, and as you hammered it, it just sort of fused together, and then when it's time to sharpen it, they could just put them in a fire and knock the ends off and put a new end on. But definitive proof, this there is mining country.